Hi everyone, very good morning to all of you, and I welcome you all to the current affairs weekly discussion. Now, in this particular videos, what we are going to do, we are going to cover entire past week's current affairs, that is 5th of August to 11th of August current affairs. Now, this particular section will be divided in two parts, that is articles relevant for prelims examination and article relevant for mains examination. Also, I would like to tell you that you can download notes of this entire session from our Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in the description box in YouTube. Now, first, I will be going to start with the mains section where important editorials and opinionated articles we are going to see. And after that, we'll be going to the prelims section. So, let's get started with this. Okay. So guys, first article that we are going to cover here, it is about the green logistics. Green logistics, which is an environmental imperative. Now, first of all, let me tell you utility of this particular article. So this particular article we are going to, see with respect to, this article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 3 environment. This article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 3 environment, as well as infrastructure, which is also mentioned in GS3. Will take this particular article. Now, first of all, what when we talk about green logistics, why there is the requirement of green logistics? So there are certain developments that has happened. Number one, we find this particular thing that post-pandemic, online shopping has increased. Moreover, not online shopping has increased, but there is one particular trend that has improved, that is fast deliveries or next day deliveries. Now, when these particular fast deliveries or next day deliveries are concerned, many number of times, just to ensure that the product reaches in time within 24 hours, within 12 hours, okay, the logistics, okay, the transportation, many number of times the containers, they have to go empty. Okay, so there are the big containers in which shipping is made, they are not fully utilized. Now, this particular thing has a environmental implication. It leads to higher carbon emission. Now, if we talk about the carbon emissions historically, you see this particular thing, 2% of carbon emissions historically, they have been because of the transportation. Now, as these transportation is increasing, online shopping trend is increasing, plus moreover, what is happening, as disposable income has increased, basically a sense of consumerism is also coming in the society. What is consumerism? Consumerism refers to obsessive consumption, obsessive behavior of consumption, that is consumerism. So this consumerism is also increasing. Because of that particular thing also, there is more online shopping that is happening. So therefore, what we want green shipping, we want green logistics. So what is this green logistics? Let's understand this particular thing. So basically, green logistic, it aims to reduce pollution. It aims to reduce the, what green logistics do? Okay, green logistics aims to reduce pollution. It aims to optimize. That how shipping can be carried. Okay, so it aims to optimize shipping. Okay, so what it aims to do? It aims to reduce pollution, and also it aims to improve the efficiency in the transportation of goods. Now, green logistics can be designed in multiple ways. Number one, there are the strategies with respect to the container use. So first of all, it is needed to be ensured that the containers, they are filled completely which are transporting the goods, so that more number of trips are not required. Okay, so ensure this particular thing, that the container is filled to its 100% or 90% of capacity. Second thing, basically there is the triangulation that is to be focused. What is triangulation? Triangulation refers that logistics needs to be such that when container or trucks are coming back, when they have dropped their cargo, they should not come back empty. Fine. For example, a cargo goes from Delhi to Agartala. Now, from Delhi to Agartala, container and the truck had full load, but from coming back Agartala to Delhi, okay, if it is not able to get, if it is not able to get cargo, if it is not able to get consignment, what is going to happen? This particular trip will go waste. So this optimization, that is the triangulation, empty containers pick up new cargo nearby instead of traveling empty. This is also that is to be focused. This is also that is to be focused. Then after that, next thing that is to be focused is there has to be data driven planning. Now, what is data driven planning? We need to use AI. We need to use AI. We need to use such kind of algorithms which can ensure that best possible route while traveling is to be used. Routes which have congestion, longer routes should be avoided. So what finding best routes for the shipping, matching cargo and containers, here we can also use the AI. Here also we can use the AI. Okay, for fuel efficiency also AI can be used so that it can gives the best route which will be leading to a lot of fuel saving. So these are the ways which these are the things that are to be implemented in the green shipping or green logistics. These are the things that are to be implemented in green shipping and green logistics. Now further moving on in this particular direction, what are the benefit of green logistics or the green shipping? It has multiple benefits. For example, the biggest benefit will be in terms of the environmental cost. Now you see this particular thing that already India has started life movement. Already India has started life movement. Now this life movement aims to reduce consumption emissions. Okay, so as a consumer, we are also emitting a lot of emissions. So basically, as green logistics will be implemented, consumption emissions will go down. Second, it leads to economic cost. Okay, lower transportation, lower logistic. So when we talk about the logistic cost of India, it is around 14 to 15%, which is very much higher. So optimizing logistic sectors will also lead to saving of the cost. Then it also builds a favorable brand reputation. Now you see, basically, if corporates, they are environmentally very much sensitive, if they have taken, for example, when you order food on Zomato, many number of times it sends you a notification that your rider is delivering food on an EV bike. Okay, so what basically why they are doing it? Because such kind of a thing promotes the perception of a brand, that brand is environmentally more sensitive. So by that, what happens, brand perception also improves. Okay, now the technology that we are going to use is machine learning, internet of things, AI for this particular green logistics. Now we also have some international examples where green logistics are being implemented, and two countries which are moving in the direction of green logistics we have, fine, that is Germany and Netherlands. Germany and Netherlands, and DHL, which is a delivery company, they have started Go Green program, which cut down the CO2 emissions. Okay, also what is happening, there are many of the e-commerce companies that are also bringing certain strategies for implementation of green logistic. For example, adoption of electric vehicles. Many cab companies, for example Blue Smart, they maintain fully electric fleet. Even food delivery apps, okay, grocery delivery apps, they are adopting EVs. Okay, they are adopting EV, electric vehicles. Okay, this is one way that the green logistics can be implemented in the delivery operations. Second is local delivery. So basically what is happening, rather than having a centralized hub, for example, let's say you order clothes from Myntra, and let's say Myntra have two warehouses, one is in Bengaluru and other is in Gurugram. Okay, so basically entire India, they are catering from these two cities, Bengaluru and Gurugram. Rather than this, what can be done? There should be local stores spread throughout the country, so that rather than traveling such a rather than traveling the long distance, in short distance deliveries can be made. So these are certain things that are to be done. Fine. Also, digitizing the operations, reducing paper usage also needs to be ensured in the logistics sector. So these are all the dimensions that comes in green logistics. I hope that you have understood it. And now moving to next article. Global crisis of over tourism. Now, over tourism has actually become a big problem. And in GS paper number 3, sectors of Indian economy, within Indian economy, tourism sector, we are going to cover this particular article. Okay, so sectors of economy, GS 3, sectors of economy, GS GH3, and within GH3 tourism, we are going to cover this particular article. Now, first of all, before going in this particular article, let's understand some basic aspects. So, around the world, tourism has increased a lot, and particularly post pandemic, we find that there is one particular pattern that is emerging, that is revenge tourism. Okay, revenge tourism. Revenge tourism. So, you see this particular thing, 2020 to 2022, we saw that there was on and off pandemic waves that were there, because of which a large number of countries imposed restrictions, and because of those particular restrictions, the tourism and the travel industry, it suffered a lot. Large number of people were not able to travel. So, moreover, at this particular time, many people who were involved into the tech sector, who belong to the upper middle class, they were able to save on a lot of cost. Okay, fine, because they were doing work from home, a lot of things, online shopping was not fully functional, so they were able to save a lot of cost also. So there was a kind of a sugar rush that came, and what happened? People were eager to travel because for 2 years the travel was suspended. So post 2022, there is a revenge tourism that is going on. People are just traveling for the sake of traveling. People are just traveling for the sake of traveling. So first there is revenge tourism. Then what has happened? What has happened? Again, that reason disposable incomes have increased. That will be contributing factor to tourism. Disposable income. Disposable income. Moreover, guys, now what has happened? Now what has happened? There is a more recognition of psychological things such as burnout. So when you are doing excessively long work, when you're performing long working hours repeatedly, it leads to burnout, and people, in order to avoid it, take vacations. Okay, for work life balance, people take vacation. For mental balance, people take vacations. Okay, so vacations have increased, tourism has increased, and sometimes there is over tourism that is happening. This over tourism leads to its own problem. I just want to give you one example. So basically in Japan, basically what has happened, Japanese are literally saying tourists that please don't come to our country. They are very much fed up by the tourists, because Japanese are very sensitive to their culture. Okay, for example, eating food in public is seen rude in Japan. When you are opening a door, ensure this particular thing, that you open up. Now you see, you don't open the full door in Japan. So door is opened as half in Japan. Beyond that, if you are opening the door, it is seen as rude. Now the tourists, when they are coming in Japan, they are eating in public, they are not following the Japanese etiquettes. Because of that, the Japanese people are not happy with this tourist. Recently what happened, basically uh, basically uh, now you might be knowing about the Mount Fiji in Japan. Okay, so tourists, they come and they take picture of Mount Fiji. So what Japanese they have to do? They have to put a screen, because so many tourists were coming there. They were creating so much of disturbance to the local residents that they have to put a screen, okay, so that the view of Mount Fiji is restricted. So these are the issues that are coming. Now you see this particular thing, that when we talk about tourism, it puts a lot of social strain. It puts a lot of social strain. So basically, cities such as destinations such as Barcelona, Venice, they are facing increased prices. Okay, there is a pressure on public services, pressure on transportation, pressure on civic amenities. Okay, local residents who live there, they are facing problem. Local residents are facing problem. So what has happened? Entrance fees is being imposed. Outright restriction on tourist activities is being imposed to manage the crowd. But all these particular things have not been that effective. All these particular things have not been that much effective. Then moving on in this particular direction, also what is happening, basically the tourists, they are also putting a lot of burden on environment. Now you see this particular thing, that when tourists came, they generate a lot of solid waste. Okay, they now here just let's see that it with the help of the data. So one tourist produces 1 to 12 kg of solid waste per day. 1 to 12 kg of solid waste per day. Also, it is provided that if the present trend in tourism will continue, then there will be 251% increase in the solid waste production that will happen by 2050. Also, we find this particular thing that what happens as the tourist. Okay, please ignore this. This photograph is of the next article. During editing, it came here. Okay, luxury accommodations, they are using significantly more water than the local households. They are using significantly more water. Okay, so this is putting a strain on environment. Also, what happens, there are the social dimensions that come. Women's safety, community well-being, it gets compromised in the places, in the cities where too much tourism are coming. Okay, so the safety of the women, fine, as well as the social well-being, it gets impacted. So this again becomes one of the challenge of the tourism. Then further moving on in this particular direction, now after that, basically cruise ships that are there, they also lead to its own problem. For example, cruise ships that have, they lead to a lot of effluents in the nearby water body. Okay, so as I told you, Japan, they have installed the screens to block view of Mount Fuji. In Karnataka, Chikmagaluru, okay, there are the restrictions on the tourist activities that are being made because many number of times the tourists are not sensitive of local traditions and local cultures. Now, in India also, tourism contributes a lot in economy. In India also, tourism contributes a lot in economy, and if we see it with the help of some numbers, so you see that tourism accounted for 10.5% of all the jobs. Okay, also in GDP, 10.4% of basically GDP was contributed by tourism. So in GDP it is contributing. Then also we find this particular thing that though in economy it is contributing a lot, but the present way as tourism is being carried, that is not sustainable. So focus is to be made on sustainable tourism. So the focus is to be made on sustainable tourism. Now, as we talk about sustainable tourism, so what is sustainable tourism? It is that type of tourism which advocates that tourist activities should minimize the environmental impact. Rather there should be the regenerative tourism. Okay, so what is regenerative tourism? Tourism that rejuvenate the ecosystem. Okay, for example, Bagan in Myanmar. Okay, then now what are the policy recommendations that can be taken in this particular direction? So first of all, what we need to focus upon, first of all, we need to bring a kind of a degrowth in tourism, because the tourism industry is increasing so rapidly that a kind of a degrowth is right now needed. Reduce and restrict the number of tourists that can be allowed at a particular place. Then after that, promote the idea of a circular economy. What is circular economy? So basically, linear economy is like this, that we use and then we discard. Use and discard. Circular economy is based on the premise that we produce a particular product, we use it, then we reuse it, then we recycle it, then again it is used. This is a circular economy. So adopting the use, reuse, recycle approach, fine, is something which is to be adopted by the tourists when they are traveling. So rather than overly using plastic bags and all such kind of a things, they should try to focus that how cloth bags etc. can be used, or how this circular economic principle they should follow. Also, holistic management. So government, private sector, community and tourists themselves should come together so that the tourist activity doesn't becomes a burden. So all need to come together. So that is all about this particular article. And now moving on to the next article. Waqf Amendment Bill 2024. Now, one thing just I'll tell you before going in this particular article, you are actually not required to go too much in detail in this particular article, hairline provisions of the Waqf Amendment Bill, etc., because the issue is becoming a little bit more politicized as well. Moreover, as right now it is the bill, no need to go too much in that particular detail. First of all, what is Waqf? So basically, Waqf is a permanent charitable donation. So suppose a person had a lot of land, okay, and this person wants that the land should be given for religious purpose. So person can donate his land. So under Islam, person can donate his land, can donate his property for the religious and charitable purpose. It is called as waqf. So what is waqf? Waqf is a charitable donation which is made for promotion of religion or for the promotion or for some charitable purpose. Once waqf is carried, once a property is declared as waqf, it is it cannot be revoked back. It is a permanent arrangement. The property that is declared as waqf, then that particular property is held in the name of God. It is held in the name of God. This property is held in the name of God. It cannot be sold. It cannot be inherited. It cannot be given away to any other person for some any other reason. Now, Waqf, it can be set up in many ways. For example, it can be set up with written documents. It can be set up through spoken words. For example, I say that this is my land and this land I am donating. This land will become Waqf. Okay. So, it can be declared in through spoken words, through documents, through even actions that make the charitable intent clear. So, you see, there are very, very broad grounds on whose basis a waqf could be declared. So there are broad grounds on whose basis waqf could be declared. And in past, we have seen that there are many laws also which are governing waqf. Okay, so during colonial times, there was Muslim Waqf Validating Act that came 1913. Then Central Waqf Act of 1954 is there. Then Waqf Act of 1995. Okay, and then amendments were made to the Waqf Act in 2013. Now, what has happened? Government is coming out with the amendment in the Waqf. Now, many number of times there are some disputes also that has come with respect to the Waqf. Now, why disputes have happened? Let's understand that particular thing also. So, in past, what has happened? So, there are certain government properties or there are certain properties which are being used for public purpose. So, they are said that these are the Waqf property. It is said that this is a Waqf property. So, therefore, government is coming out with the amendment bill. Number one, it aims to completely overhaul governance of the Waqf. Now, there are Waqf boards that are there. There are Waqf boards that are there. Now, these Waqf board are responsible for managing the Waqf properties. They manage the Waqf property. They can sue. They can be sued. Okay. So, there are the Waqf board. So, for Waqf board, there are governance reforms that are being suggested. Okay. Also, there has to be transparency in Waqf properties. Mandatory registration of Waqf property needs to be there. Mandatory registration of Waqf property needs to be there. Also, they talk about bringing a kind of an inclusion in the board also. So right now, when we talk about the board, Waqf board, so people on the Waqf board, they can be from Muslim community only, but government is saying that we are going to bring more representatives here. This is something that is going to happen, or moreover, in the matters of Waqf, more powers are being given to the district collectors. Okay, so this is something that has happened. Now, there are criticisms that have come, and the biggest criticism that has come on this particular direction is that it will violate Article 25 and 26 of the Indian Constitution, which gives the right to religion also, which gives the right to religion. So it has been said that it is a too much interference that is being made in religion. And often there are the criticisms that have come that by such kind of intrusions by the government, okay, it seems that they are not bothering, they are not caring about the minority communities. This is something that has happened. Okay, fine. Implications, economic and social implications. Okay, now enhanced governance can help in bringing more economic utilization, but at the same time, cultural concerns are there that I already told you. That is all about this particular article. And now moving on to next article. Bangladesh's political shift and its impact on the India-Bangladesh relation. Now, guys, recently we have seen that Sheikh Hasina, who has been Prime Minister of Bangladesh since 15 plus years, she had to resign and she had to flee from Bangladesh. Now, problem started in Bangladesh with the student protest that happened. So basically what happened, students were protesting against the reservation quota for the grandchildren of martyrs. Now, you might be knowing already that excuse me. Now you might be knowing already that in 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War happened. during that Bangladesh liberation war, okay, during that Bangladesh liberation war, many people have sacrificed their life, many people became martyred, many people have fought in the Bangladesh liberation war, Mukti Bahini, fine, many people have fought there. Now, children of these people, they were given the reservation quota. Okay, first the reservation quota were for the freedom fighters. First reservation quota was the freedom fighters. Then it was given to their children. Then it was given to their grandchildren. Okay, so students in Bangladesh, they started protesting it. They said this particular thing, that you have given to the you have given to the freedom fighters, you have given to their children, but giving them to grandchildren is not right. Moreover, government had a lot of say in determining that who will get it and who will not get it. More than 30% reservation quota was given only to the freedom fighters' grandchildren. So because of that, student came on the streets, protest started in Bangladesh, and government, they carried a crackdown on students. And because of that, many of them, they died. It further increased the anger against the government, and the students, they started coming on, basically they intensified their protest, and the Dhaka Cholo movement got started. Now, as the students, they came to storm the prime minister's home, at that point of a time, even army of Bangladesh refused that they will not fire on the students. So at that point of a time, Sheikh Hasina flew from Bangladesh and she came to India. So there is a collapse that has happened in Bangladesh. Moreover, as this is happening, so one of a person, so Muhammad Yunus, who has been pronounced, who has been very popular social economist Muhammad Yunus, he is now heading the interim government also. Muhammad Yunus is now heading the interim government also. So basically, guys, Muhammad Yunus happens to be social entrepreneur. He is one who is credited with the idea of microcredit. He is one who is credited with the idea of microcredit. Grameen Bank initiative also he started. Okay, Grameen Bank initiative also he started. So he is leading the interim government in Bangladesh as of now. Okay, just a minute. So he is leading the interim government in Bangladesh as of now. Okay, so the making of Bangladesh revolt. Okay, so when we talk about, so we see that the Sheikh Hasina has resigned after ruling Bangladesh for 15 years. After ruling Bangladesh for 15 years. Okay, and what has happened due to resignation of Sheikh Hasina? Due to resignation of Sheikh Hasina, a kind of a political vacuum has developed in Bangladesh. A kind of a political vacuum has developed in Bangladesh. Guys, just give me 1 minute. Just guys, give me 1 minute now. Okay, so as in Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina has resigned. This particular as Sheikh Hasina has resigned, it will have certain implications on the India also. Now you see, we share one of the longest border with Bangladesh, and stable Bangladesh has always been in interest of India. First of all, let's see that what have been equation between India and Bangladesh with the help of data as well as with the help of the initiatives that were going on. So first of all, let's see that. So when we talk about economic and social achievements that have happened between India and Bangladesh, it is this. So basically, during Sheikh Hasina's regime, Bangladesh economy has improved, and it has tripled to per capita income in the last one decade. 25 million people have come out of poverty. Per capita income has got tripled. 25 million people came out of poverty. Now, industries that have left China, garment manufacturing companies which have left China, they have relocated to Bangladesh. Bangladesh has become a major destination in the garment manufacturing, shoes manufacturing. This is something that has happened. Though post-pandemic economic slowdown came, but largely economic growth of Bangladesh has been impressive. Moreover, anti-terror efforts also. So terrorist activities that were directed against India, that has also been brought under control during the Sheikh Hasina government. Then in infrastructure and connectivity also, many initiatives have been taken, and the most important one is Akhora Agartala rail link. Akhora Agartala rail link. Then there are basically in Bay of Bengal, basically in the BIMSTEC also, BIMSTEC, BBIN also, India and Bangladesh are very important partners. Then further moving on, when we talk about the trade relations, so during the Sheikh Hasina government, India and Bangladesh trade relations also improved considerably. And here if we see that the bilateral trade reached $13 billion during Sheikh Hasina government in the 23-24. This is the highest that has ever happened in India and Bangladesh. Moreover, India is also providing the duty-free access to Bangladeshi products in India under SAFTA. SAFTA stands for South Asian Free Trade Agreement. So under the SAFTA, we are providing the custom duty-free access to the Bangladeshi products. So these are all economic achievements that have happened. Then on energy and defense, so Bangladesh is importing 2000 megawatts of electricity from India. So India is also an electricity exporter to Bangladesh. Then also recently India-Bangladesh friendship pipeline has been established, which will by which diesel will be provided to Bangladesh. Moreover, in joint military exercises also India and Bangladesh are participating. Then there are medical and cultural connections that are there. So basically Bangla culture, okay, which is common to the India and Bangladesh. That is one connecting point. Okay, Bengali speaker in West Bengal, Bengali speaker in Bangladesh. This is also one point which connects people culturally. Okay, then after that, medical ties are also there. A large number of people from Bangladesh, they have come to India for medical tourism. For medical tourism. Moreover, there are also the strategic implications that will be there on India if Bangladesh instability comes. Now, you see this particular thing. Now, you see this particular thing that what we find, just a minute. Yes. So, as we see here, we find this that there is, first of all, Bangladesh has been supporter of India in United Nations Security Council. Now, India wants a permanent seat in United Nations Security Council. Bangladesh has supported it. Moreover, you see this particular thing that any instability in Bangladesh, any instability in Bangladesh might lead to the resurgence of anti-India terror groups, anti-India terror groups. Moreover, there might be a possibility. Moreover, there might be the possibility that if Bangladesh regime gets destabilized, then China might try to increase its influence in Bangladesh, and by that it might sponsor anti-India regime in Bangladesh as they are trying to do already in Myanmar. As they are trying to do already in Myanmar. This is something that can happen. This is something that can happen. Also, there are certain persistent issues that have been there in India-Bangladesh relation. The biggest one is the transboundary water dispute, particularly on the Tista. though many working groups were established, though many memorandum of understanding were signed, but on the Teesta group, water dispute has not been largely resolved. Then basically drug trafficking, human trafficking through Bangladesh is a big concern. Then Chinese influence. Even when the Sheikh Hasina government was there in power, Bangladesh, it seems that it got influenced by the Belt and Road Initiative of China. So these are the concerns that we have. Now, what can be the way forward? Now, you see this particular thing, the way forward will be common. It is India, Bangladesh, or it is even the Myanmar. The way forward is going to be common. Number one, India needs to support the democratic setup. Now, India is the biggest democracy in world, and India has always promoted democracy everywhere. So therefore, number one, we need to support the democratic forces. We want to ensure that whatever happens, undue outside interference should not be there. Okay, we need to carry the bilateral engagement. Okay, we need to carry the bilateral engagement, and cross-border issues, drug trafficking, human trafficking, etc., that has happened in the past. It needs to be controlled. Fine. Mohammed Yunus, I already discussed about him, that he is going to head the interim government in Bangladesh as of now. India's commitment to transitioning to clean energy. Okay. Now, this particular article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 3. GS paper number 3, environment. Okay. So, in the past, we saw this particular thing, that India has made impressive efforts towards electrification. And as of now, the government data shows that with the help of Sobhagya scheme, 97% of households, they have already got electrified. 97% of households, they got electrified. Very good. That at the same time, we also see that in India, renewable energy is also growing. Now, India has already taken the target that by 2030, 500 gigawatt of electricity should come from renewables. Okay. Now, moving on in this particular direction, renewable energy share is increasing. 500 gigawatt target we have taken up. Electrification is already happening. But at the same time, there is the grid strengthening that is needed. Okay. Though there are some challenges that are there, but still on that particular aspect we are working, so that not only electrification is there, but the houses, they get 24/7 reliable, affordable energy. So there is also the grid strengthening on which India is working. Now moving on in this particular direction. So basically, first of all, when we talk about the challenges in the electricity sector of India, so first of all, we see this particular thing, that since COVID-19 pandemic, India's electricity demand is increasing, and it is increasing at a fast rate, that is 7 to 9% annually. Moreover, due to climate change that is happening, high temperatures during the heat, during the summers, more demand is there for air conditioning, and for that also what is happening, electricity demands have increased. Now, grid reliability, though I told that we are working on that, but it is still an issue. Okay. Then what are the strategies that we need to work upon? Number one, we need to immediately focus on increasing the renewable energy capacity. Second, if you see, we have taken that goal of increasing renewable energy to 500 gigawatt by 2030. Right now, when we talk about the power generation mix, okay, fine. You see this particular thing, 2 points I just want to tell you, that when we talk about installed electricity, it is more than 41%, but actually we are not using it fully. When we talk about the total electricity that is coming, it is just 13% from renewable sources. So though we have established it, but we are not using electricity from renewables. Only out of the total electricity, 13% electricity that is being used is from renewables. Still we over rely on coal. Okay, this is something that is to be done. Now, if we take example of China here, China added 160 gigawatt alone in 2023. Alone in 2023. Okay. Improving power exchanges liquidity. Okay, so power exchanges, many of the power exchanges, they are facing the financial challenges. So liquidity at their term, at their point, distribution companies, many of them are facing financial crisis. That is to be focused upon. Then also in the short term or in the immediate term, coal is going to be an important component in India's energy security. You see this particular thing that though around the world there are the calls that is being made against the coal. There is coal phase down versus coal phase out that is going on. But coal cannot be abandoned in the immediate term. So coal is going to be there. Coal is going to be there. We need to effectively manage it and use it. Then the next is digitalization of power sector. Digitalization of power sector. Okay, so immediately initiatives such as smart meter is to be implemented so that the losses can be brought down. Then other technologies are to be implemented so that the transmission losses that are there in power theft that is there, it can be controlled. It can be controlled. Then next, moving on, incentives should be given by the government for renewable energy development to the states. Okay, that is something that is to be focused upon. Now moving on, tackling judicial delay in India. Okay, now this particular article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 2. GS paper number 2, issues related to judiciary. GS paper number 2, issues related to judiciary. Now first of all, it is a golden rule which is often often pronounced that a justice delayed is justice denied. So if justice doesn't comes in the time, if justice is delayed, then the justice is denied. Now you see the state of justice in India is like this, that there are 50 million cases that are lying pending. There are 50 million cases, around 5 crore cases are pending, and out of that 90% of cases are pending in the subordinate judiciary. Subordinate judiciary. Then apart from that, there are additional 50 million cases that are pending in various tribunals, quasi-judicial bodies. Because of so many cases are pending, it makes our judicial system slow. It makes our judicial system slow. Now, what are the reasons? What are the reasons which lead to slow, which leads to the slow judicial dispensation in India? So there are many reasons that we have. Number one is infrastructural deficiency. So there is inadequate infrastructure, adequate number of court rooms are not there, adequate judicial staff is not there, adequate number of judges are not there. Even if I give you the data, just in the High Court, 20% judicial vacancies are there. 20% judicial vacancies are there. Then court vacations and adjournments. So there are colonial practice of taking the summer break. Then there are the adjournments that are given, which also makes the judicial process very much slow. Then the next reason that we have, then what are the reforms that are needed in this particular capacity? What are the reforms that are needed in this particular capacity? So first of all, we need to increase the judicial resources. We need to increase judicial resources. Both human resource as well as physical resource are to be increased. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to ensure that there is adequate staff, judicial vacancies that are there at the lower judiciary. Okay, adequate courtrooms are to be there. Okay, then promote the alternative dispute redressal mechanism. So family courts, lok adalats, okay, lok adalat, etc., they need to be promoted. Gramin Nyayalayas. Then judicial appointment. So as I told you that 20% of the judicial positions and High Court are lying vacant. So what is to be done here? What is to be done here? For this particular thing, we need to ensure that some steps need to be taken. Article says that National Judicial Appointment Commission is to be revived. Now, what was National Judicial Appointment Commission? So National Judicial Appointment Commission was brought to for three things. Number one, appointing Supreme Court judges. Number two, appointing High Court judges. And number three, transfer of the High Court judges. But Supreme Court declared it as violative of the Constitution and it was withheld. It was declared as ultra virus. So that can be revived again. After that, for effective case management, technology can be utilized. For effective case management. Virtual hearings can be taken up so that the people, they need not to travel long distances to the court many number of a time. For example, if a person is from South India wants to appear in a matter in Supreme Court in Delhi, every time the person has to travel. So virtual hearings need to be there. Technology for the case management needs to be there. Okay, Parliament should play an important role and should bring out the judicial reforms. This is something that is to be done. Is it clear? So then what will be the impact? Economic impact, social impact, both will be there. Economic impact, as the cases will be resolved fastly, it will lead to high cost savings for both the state as well as for the exchequer people. Okay, fine. So this is all. Then all the recommendations we have seen already. Moving on. Addressing the grim reality of witch hunting in India. GS paper 1 and GS paper number 2, social issues. Within social issues, women related issues. Social issues, and within social issues, women related issues. Okay. Now, basically, there is a practice of witch hunting. What is witch hunting? Women, they are branded as witches, and many of number of times they are violence that is committed against them. They are killed many number of times. So you see this particular thing, that witch hunting, it is prevalent in many states. It is prevalent in many states, and particularly it is most big problem in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, and Odisha. According to National Crime Record Bureau, 85 murders were related to witch hunting. They are related to witch hunting. 100 cases are being reported annually against the witch, related to witch hunting. Now, when we talk about the term witch, so what is witch? Okay, so witch is an evil person. Okay, so a person is branded as witch, having of an evil origin, They are hunted and they are killed. Okay. Now you see this particular thing, that historically, basically witchcraft, it has stemmed from ignorance, lack of education, and particularly women who are mentally ill, widow, single, they have been targeted under witch hunting. Now many states have come out with the laws against witch hunting. For example, Prevention of Witch Diane Practices Act 1999. This is a Bihar law. Jharkhand has come out with the Prevention of Witch Practices Act 2001. Now, which is Diane in Hindi? Prevention of Witch Hunting Act 2013 by Odisha. Maharashtra, Prevention and Eradication of Inhuman Evil Practices and Black Magic Act 2013. But still there is not much respite that has come. What are the problems? Number one, a large number of cases, they go unreported. Okay. There is confusion between witchcraft and witch hunting. Now, witchcraft is a cultural practices that many communities they perform, that cannot be restricted because that is a cultural practices. Many number of times enforcement agencies are not able to make a differentiation between witchcraft and witch hunting. Okay. So, what is needed? Number one, need of education and awareness is needed. Okay. So, rather than just the laws, we need to educate, we need to create public awareness, we need to sensitize the society, we need to carry a community engagement project. Here, Project Garima was started in Jharkhand to educate people against the witch hunting, and Project Prahari was started in Assam. Also, what has happened? United Nations Human Rights Council, it also adopted a resolution against the harmful practices, which includes the witchcraft. Moreover, witchcraft is not only a problem in India, it prevails in many other countries also. For example, in South Asia, in US, even in Europe, it prevails. Okay, so what we need? We need to have, number one, social sensitization. Number two, we need to have robust laws which can counter the problem of witch hunting. Then thirdly, we need to have implementation. These are certain things that are needed in this particular direction. So that is all, guys, about this particular session. I hope you have liked it. Now, guys, we'll be moving to the mains section after this. Prelim section after this. But before that, there are also two questions that I have given which you can practice. There are also the two questions that we have here which you can practice. Okay, so here we have the two main questions also. So question reads, number one, critically analyze the major contributing factors to judicial delays in India and suggest key reforms that can be implemented to address these delays. Discuss the potential impact of these reforms. Then the practice of witch hunting continues to plague certain parts of India despite existing legal frameworks. Examine the effectiveness of current law, okay, in combating witch hunting and propose additional measures that can be taken to eradicate this practice. Okay, so this is about the mains questions. Okay, and now moving to the prelim section. Moving to the prelim section. Okay, now these are the articles specifically for prelims examination. First article that we have is with respect to Mahila Samman Saving Certificate Scheme. So government recently announced that they are not going to extend the time for Mahila Samman Saving Scheme. What is this Mahila Samman Saving Scheme? So Mahila Samman Saving Scheme, it was announced in the budget of 2023. Now this is a saving scheme for women. So women, they can open a saving scheme account. They can maximum deposit 2 lakh rupees. Maximum they can deposit 2 lakh rupees. Minimum they can deposit 1 lakh, 1000 rupees. So money 1000 to 2 lakh rupees can be deposited, and this will provide a higher saving rate. It will provide a higher saving rate, that is of 7.5%. 7.5%. Okay, now basically this particular account will be mature after 2 years, but before that, if needed, partial withdrawals can be made. If needed, partial withdrawals can be made. Now when we talk about the partial withdrawals, how much partial withdrawal is allowed? Maximum partial withdrawal that is allowed is 40%. Okay, so maximum partial withdrawal that is allowed is it is 40%. 40%. Now, one woman can open multiple accounts, but after one account, the next account can be opened only after 3 months. Women can open multiple accounts. Okay, women can open multiple accounts, but after one account is opened, next account can be opened after 3 months. Total deposit across all the accounts. Total deposit across all the accounts should not be more than 40 should not be more than 2 lakh rupees. Should not be more than 2 lakh rupees. Then next we have Brahmani River. So Brahmani River was in news recently. Okay, so Brahmani River was in news recently. Why Brahmani River was in news? Because it is because of the flooding in the Brahmani River. Because of the flooding in the Brahmani River. Now, when we talk about Brahmani River is an interstate river, means it flows across multiple states. It flows across multiple states. Now, first of all, this particular river, it is also called as Dhamra River. Dhamra River. Now, Dhamra River, it is called largely in the Odisha. So, when we talk about Brahmani River, it is formed by the confluence of two rivers, that is the Sank and South Koel. Sank and South Koel near Rourkela in Odisha. So Rourkela happens to be a major industrial town. Rourkela happens to be a major industrial town. Apologies if I have pronounced the name wrong. Okay, so both the Sank and South Koel, who are the major tributaries, they originate in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. They originate in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Sank River originates near Jharkhand Chhattisgarh border, and South Koel, it originates in the Jharkhand. Now, Brahmani River, when we talk about the course of Brahmani River, it flows through Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Odisha, and then it empties in Bay of Bengal. Then it empties in the Bay of Bengal. Now, basically this river forms a delta. This river forms a delta. This is a very productive delta. And this particular delta is where Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary is located. Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary is located. Okay, and this Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary, it is known for crocodiles. It is known for crocodiles. The next article we have is WHO Global Traditional Medicine Center. Global Traditional Medicine Center. So recently, India has pledged $85 million, $85 million for Global Traditional Medication Center. Global Traditional Medicine Center. Now, fine. So, guys, when we talk about the Global Traditional Medicine Center, just a minute. Okay. Global Traditional Medicine Center. Now, traditional medications are there and modern medications are there. Now, modern medications, it includes allopathy. Traditional medications, it includes Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy. All it is included in the traditional medication. Now, around the world, traditional medication is becoming more and more popular. So, for the research in traditional medication, for research in this traditional medication, India is giving this particular money. And Global Traditional Medicine Center is also being started. Now this Global Traditional Medicine Center, it will be located in Jamnagar, Gujarat. Jamnagar, Gujarat. And WHO serves as the Global Knowledge Hub. Global Knowledge Hub. Now, this particular traditional medicine center will try to carry the further research on traditional medicine, and it will operate under the Ministry of Ayush in India. It is going to focus on 4 key pillars, that is evidence about traditional medication, data analytics, sustainability, and innovation. Next, we have Bagata tribe. So, Bagata tribe was in news recently. Now, Bagata tribe, they have contributed in the construction of Sileru hydroelectric project, but they themselves are without electricity. Now, when we talk about the Bagata tribe people, largely they live in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, and they are called by many names such as the Bagatha, Bhagat, Bagodi, Bogad, Bhakta. Okay. Now, these people, they have played the role of warriors. They have played the role of warriors. Okay. And the important, okay, they celebrate the traditional dance is Himsa. The next we have here is Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. So Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary was recently news because there was a mahout who was killed because he was trampled by a wild elephant. So Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. Now Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, it is located in Assam. It is located in Assam on the southern bank of Brahmaputra river. On the south bank of Brahmaputra, it is located. Now, Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, one thing which is important fact about this, it has the highest density or highest concentration of one horn rhino. Okay. Now, you see this thing. There are two things when we talk about the population. Highest population is in Kaziranga, but highest density is in Pobitora. Highest density is in Pobitora. So it was designated as a wildlife sanctuary in 1987 and highest density of one horn rhinos. Okay. Then asset management companies were in news. Now, why asset management companies were in news? Because recently SEBI directed this particular thing that CEOs, managing directors of asset management company will be held accountable so that for implementing the to implement the measures to prevent the market abuse. So they have to ensure that market abuse is avoided. And to implement those measures, it is whose responsibility? It is the responsibility of the asset management companies. Now, what are asset management companies? So, guys, asset management companies are the financial institutions which collect money from large range of investors, such as the retail investors, institutional investors. They collect money and they invest the money in the different financial instrument. They will make a return, and that return will be given to the investors, and they will also charge a fees. Asset management company. So the mutual fund companies, they are the asset management companies only. Okay. So there can be the different type of asset management companies. There can be hedge funds, mutual fund, index funds, ETF, private equity. Okay. All these are the fine, and they manage fund for all these different type of people. Okay. Moving on, the next is Virasat. So recently Virasat was in news. Now, what is this Virasat? Virasat, it is handloom expo. It is exhibition for handloom products. It was organized by National Handloom Development Corporation Limited, which is under the Ministry of Textiles. Now you see this particular thing, guys, that since 1905, National Handloom Day is being celebrated. National Handloom Day was celebrated for the National Handloom Day was celebrated to during the Swadeshi movement to showcase the richness of handlooms. So basically, on National Handloom Day, the Handloom Expo was conducted, which was called as Virasat, and different type of handlooms they were showcased here. The next, Son River was also recently flooded, so therefore it was in news. So when we talk about the Son River, it is the major tributary of Ganga River. After the Yamuna River, it is the second major tributary of Ganga River. Now, Son River, it originates in Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh. From Amarkantak, here Narmada River also originates. So, Amarkantak, Madhya Pradesh, it originates. Now, this particular river, it flows northwest in Madhya Pradesh, then eastwards toward the Kaimur, and then it flows into Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. And near Patna, it meets Ganga River. Near Patna, it meets Ganga River. Okay. Then clouded leopard was in news. Why? Because recently there was International Clouded Leopard Day. Now, when we talk about clouded leopard, it is called as clouded leopard because of the cloud-like patterns that are there. Now, the status of clouded leopard is vulnerable on IUCN Red List. There are two types of clouded leopard that are there. Number one is clouded leopard and other is Sunda clouded leopard. Now, in India, which we find the clouded leopard. Now, clouded leopard, it is found in China, Bhutan, Nepal, northeastern India, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, and Bangladesh. And in India, it is found in Sikkim, northwestern Bengal, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur, Assam, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, it is a solitary animal, means it doesn't lives in groups, it lives alone. Solitary animal. Then Perseid meteor shower. Perseid meteor shower. So basically, guys, when we talk about meteor is simply a space rock which enters the Earth's atmosphere, and as it enters Earth's atmosphere, it starts burning because of the friction. And because it starts to burn, actually what happens, the gases and air around this meteor, it becomes very much hot. And because of that, there is a kind of a striking light that is associated with this meteor. So what is meteor? Meteor is a space rock. Now, basically, so Perseid meteor shower. What is a meteor shower? What is a meteor shower? So basically, meteor shower, fine. When many meteors will enter the atmosphere together, it is called as meteor shower. So hundreds and thousands of meteors, they come at once. It is called as meteor shower. Now, what is happening? So basically, so in India, so basically recently, the Perseid meteor shower, it happened. Okay, and why it is called as Perseid meteor shower? Because these meteors, they come from the constellation Perseus. So there is a constellation Perseus. From here, these meteor originate. They enter in the Earth's atmosphere. So because the Perseus, name Perseid meteor shower, it comes. And every year in the mid of August, it is witnessed. Pinaka MK3. Now, what is Pinaka? Pinaka is multi-barrel rocket launcher. It is multi-barrel rocket launcher which launches rocket on enemy target. Now, DRDO is working on Pinaka MK3. Now, you see this particular thing, that Armament Research and Development Establishment under the DRDO is working on the Pinaka 3. Pinaka 3, it is a better version over the Pinaka 1 and Pinaka 2. Now you see, Pinaka 1, original Pinaka 1 had range of 48 km. Then it was enhanced to 60 km. Okay. Pinaka 2, it has range of 90 kilometers, and this Pinaka 3, it has range of 120 km, which will later be extended to 300 km. Okay. So this Pinaka, it can hit the enemy targets in open armored vehicles such as a tank, etc. Soft skinned vehicles means regular cars. communication hubs, air base, okay, ammunition storage sites can be destroyed by Pinaka. Nandini Sahakar Yojana. Nandini Sahakar Yojana. So Nandini Sahakar Yojana, basically this particular Yojana, this particular scheme is for women empowerment. Under Nandini Sahakar Yojana, financial assistance is given to the women so that they can organize women cooperatives, Okay, so for project planning, guidance, capacity building of women cooperatives, financial assistance is provided to them. It develops a entrepreneurship spirit among women. Okay, moreover, women will be provided a loan, and on that particular loan, interest subvention is also provided under the Nandini Sahakar, 2% interest subvention. Dudhwa Tiger Reserve. So recently Dudhwa Tiger Reserve was in news. Why? Because a person was killed in Dudhwa Tiger Reserve by elephants. So Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, it is situated along Indo-Nepal border, and Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, what it includes? It includes Dudhwa National Park, Kishanpur and Katernia Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay. Now important rivers that passes through it. So Sharda River, it flows through Kishanpur Wildlife Sanctuary. Gerua River, it passes through Katerni Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary. Suheli and Mohana rivers, it passes through Dudhwa National Park. Okay, so this is guys all about it. And with this, we come to an end to this particular session. So I hope that you have liked it. And that is all for today. In next class, we'll further be taking up the next week's current affairs. Thank you so much.